What if I told you that the most attractive thing to a woman isn't what you say, how you look, or even what you do? It's something 99% of men never practice. The art of non-reactive presence. Most men talk too much, prove too hard, and chase too fast. But a Stoic man does the opposite. He listens more than he speaks. He holds eye contact with calm stillness. He lets silence do the work, and the result. She leans in, she softens, she feels something without knowing why. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything to avoid facing their own soul." But the man who's already met his, he becomes magnetic, because she doesn't just feel seen, she feels safe. Right now, if you're trying to impress her with words, effort, or charm, stop. Instead, lead with energy that says, "I don't chase, I choose." If you're ready to practice the rare presence most women crave, like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. I attract with stillness, not performance. Number 1. The hidden power of touch before intimacy. Most men think that attraction begins with seduction, but they're wrong. It begins with safety, and nothing communicates emotional safety more quietly and effectively than a simple, intentional touch before things turn physical. A gentle massage, a reassuring hand on her arm, or a warm gesture without expectation says something. Words cannot. I see you, I'm here, and I'm not in a rush. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, the man who touches without demand becomes unforgettable, because this kind of touch is not about possession, it's about presence. It's a moment where your fingertips carry meaning, not manipulation. It's not a move, it's a message. And that message is, you matter. When done right, such gestures activate a woman's deepest emotional wiring. It calms her nervous system. It creates a bridge of trust, and it lets her know she can let go. This is where intimacy begins, not in the bedroom, but in the moment she feels emotionally safe enough to lean in. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Stoic masculinity isn't about being emotionally numb. It's about being emotionally disciplined. When you touch her with calm intention, reading her reactions, adjusting your presence, and respecting her space, you're not just being respectful, you're embodying self-mastery. Unfortunately, many men get this wrong. They either avoid touch entirely out of fear of doing it wrong, or they rush in, touching with hunger rather than stillness. But the Stoic man is different. He knows timing, he knows nuance, and above all, he knows how to read a moment. So how do you apply this? You start with stillness. You slow down. You observe her energy, her breathing, her comfort level. Then you make a small, intentional gesture, a light massage on her shoulders after a long day, a thumb tracing her knuckles while holding hands, a palm resting gently on her thigh, not to escalate, but to connect. You let her know, through energy alone, that there is no pressure, only presence. This kind of touch rewires her experience of you. You're no longer just a man. You become her emotional refuge, the one who doesn't need to speak loudly, because his actions already whisper everything that matters. And here's the irony. When you stop chasing physical outcomes, you start generating deeper desire, because the woman who feels seen, safe, and emotionally valued will desire you in ways that performance could never earn. This is the Stoic way, not to withhold, but to direct, not to suppress your desire, but to lead it with wisdom. Now, comment below. I don't touch to take, I touch to connect. Number 2. Flirting isn't a game, it's a dance of respect. Flirting has been misunderstood by both men and women. Some think it's manipulation. Others treat it as a script, one-liners, rehearsed compliments, and exaggerated charm. But true flirting isn't a performance. It's a signal of emotional intelligence, of curiosity mixed with restraint. When done with respect, it becomes a powerful form of connection, one that doesn't pressure but invites. The Stoic man understands this distinction. He doesn't flirt to gain approval. He flirts to express presence. His compliments are not thrown like darts. hoping something lands. They are crafted from observation, grounded, intentional, and real. Instead of saying, "You look hot tonight," he might say, "There's a calm in your eyes tonight that's different. It suits you." That's not a tactic, it's truth. And women feel the difference immediately. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In this context, the obstacle is the modern man's fear of rejection. But the Stoic doesn't avoid this fear, he refines it. He transforms it into controlled expression. That's what makes his flirting magnetic. It's not loud, it's layered, not aggressive, but grounded. The problem with modern flirting is that it often lacks depth. Men try too hard to be funny or confident, forgetting that the strongest compliment is sincerity. And more than that, attunement. When you really listen to her, you notice things others miss. The way she tucks her hair when nervous, the shift in her tone when she talks about something she loves. And from that place of awareness, you speak not to impress, but to connect. So how do you flirt like a Stoic? Start by leading with curiosity, not conquest. Ask a question she's never been asked before. Respond to her energy, not just her words. Smile not to charm, but to relax. When you give a compliment, slow down. Look her in the eye. Say it without rushing, like the words matter, because they do. And when she responds, don't jump forward. Stay still. Let her interest unfold. Don't try to accelerate it. You're not proving anything. You're just present. That presence, unhurried, calm, and honest, is what separates the boy who performs from the man who connects. Respectful flirting doesn't chase. It invites. It doesn't pressure. It opens. It doesn't manipulate. It mirrors. And that's why women crave it, because in a world of noise, it feels like music. Now, speak out and comment below. I don't flirt to win, I flirt to connect. Number 3. When you touch her hair, you're touching her heart. There are gestures so subtle, yet so deeply intimate, that they bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. One of them is the simple act of touching her hair. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but when done with care and intention, it awakens something primal, a sense of being nurtured, noticed, and protected. For many women, this kind of touch is more intimate than a kiss. But here's the truth. It only works when it's sincere. When a man gently moves a strand of hair from her face or runs his fingers through her hair without rushing, it tells her, I'm not here to consume, I'm here to connect. This is not dominance, it's attunement. Marcus Aurelius once said, don't go on discussing what a good person should be. Just be one. In the same way, don't ask how to be more romantic, just act from presence. Touch her hair not as a move, but as a message that says, you're safe here, I'm listening, even when I'm silent. Why is this gesture so powerful? Because hair is a deeply personal part of a woman's identity. It's tied to her femininity, her confidence, and her comfort. When you're invited into that space and you respond with gentleness, it sends a signal that you're emotionally aware, not just physically attracted. That's rare. And that's why it leaves an impression. Too often, men rush physical connection. They treat touch as escalation, not communication. But the Stoic man understands the power of restraint. He doesn't touch to trigger desire, he touches to show presence. And paradoxically, this kind of patience creates a deeper longing, because she feels seen, not targeted. So how should you do it? Wait until the moment feels open. Perhaps you're both sitting close, laughing, or speaking softly. If a strand of hair falls into her eyes, gently move it aside. If you're resting together, slowly brush your hand through her hair, not like you're trying to impress her, but like you already care. Pay attention to her breath, her stillness, her energy. If she leans into it, you'll know. If she softens, you'll feel it. And if you sense hesitation, you stop. That's what makes it safe. That's what makes it real. This is how intimacy is built, not through big gestures, but through meaningful ones. Now, a comment below. I don't touch for attention. I touch with intention. Number 4. A simple hand on her back speaks louder than words. It's one of the smallest gestures a man can make, yet one of the most powerful. A hand gently placed on her lower back as you guide her through a doorway, across a crowd, or during a quiet walk. No words, no pressure, just presence. This act isn't about control, it's about protection, pride, and silent reassurance. To the untrained eye, this move might seem meaningless, but for a woman who's emotionally attuned, it can say everything she needs to hear. You're safe with me. I've got you. You don't have to look around, I'm already here. And that, in today's chaotic world, is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." This applies directly here. You don't need grand romantic displays or scripted declarations to be seen as a powerful man. Sometimes, all it takes is one grounded, thoughtful gesture that says more than 100 compliments ever could. The problem is, most men either overlook this gesture or overdo it. They miss the nuance, the quiet blend of confidence and gentleness. They touch to impress, not to assure. But when you lead with stoic presence, everything changes. That hand on her back is no longer a move, it's a message. It says, "I'm aware of your space, I respect it, and I'll guide you only where you allow." Why does it work? Because it blends masculine energy with restraint. It says, "I lead without saying I dominate." It's about offering, not taking. And it's one of the few physical cues that still holds deep subconscious meaning across cultures. It marks trust. It marks territory, not in a possessive way, but in a protective one. So how do you apply this? The next time you're walking beside her in a crowded space, gently place your hand on her back, not to rush her, but to assure her. When stepping through a door, guide her ahead of you with that simple motion. Don't hold on too long, don't make it obvious. Just enough to say, "I'm present." If she's into you, she'll lean into it. Her body will respond before her words do. And if she isn't ready, she'll move away, and that's when you show respect by letting go. That balance is what makes you stand out. This kind of gesture isn't about strategy. It's about being the kind of man whose strength is quiet and consistent. The kind of man who leads without saying a word. Now, speak out and comment below. I guide not with force, but with presence. Number 5. Protection isn't loud, it's calm. Stoic strength in action. She's uncomfortable. Maybe it's a stranger's offhand comment, an awkward social situation, or a moment when she doesn't feel safe. Many men, in that moment, either freeze or overreact, trying to defend her with force or silence. But true protection, the kind that makes a woman feel secure to her core, is rarely about volume. It's about presence, and presence is built in stillness, not in shouting. There's a reason stoic men feel magnetic in high-pressure situations. They do not panic. They do not seek validation by playing the hero. They protect with intention, not ego. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the injury." That means when a woman feels threatened, you don't match aggression with chaos. You answer with calm clarity. You become the ground beneath her feet. What does this actually look like? Imagine this. Someone insults her at a gathering. Instead of lashing out, you step forward. You don't argue. You simply place yourself between her and the threat. Your eyes lock onto theirs, not with rage, but with quiet strength. Your tone stays low. Your words are measured. Your posture says, "Enough." Or maybe she's dealing with anxiety, indecision, or fear. You don't offer shallow reassurances. You don't interrupt. You listen, breathe slowly, and speak with depth. Not, "It's fine, but I've got you." You become the presence she can lean into without fear of being judged or overwhelmed. Most men believe protection means control, but the truth is, protection means containment. You hold the space not to dominate it, but to keep it sacred. You don't flare up. You don't seek credit. You stand still so she can find her balance. This is the kind of strength women remember, not the man who shouted at a bartender, but the one who, with a single calm sentence, shifted the energy in the room. So how do you cultivate this? Through practice. You train yourself to stay calm under pressure. You learn to read her discomfort not as a weakness to fix, but as a signal to support. You say little, but you act when it matters. You show up not just with muscles or a deep voice, but with emotional control. That's stoic protection. And the result? She'll associate your presence with safety, not just physical safety, but emotional refuge, the kind of space where she doesn't have to perform, shrink, or pretend, because when you're near, she knows nothing shakes him, so I don't have to be afraid. Now, comment below. I protect with presence, not performance. Number 6. When you dream about her and tell her gently. There's something vulnerable, almost sacred, about telling a woman she appeared in your dreams. It's not a pickup line. It's not a tactic. It's a rare moment of openness that reaches beyond logic into the space where attraction becomes connection and curiosity turns into emotional intimacy. We dream about what lingers in our subconscious. If she shows up there, it means her presence has left an impression deeper than the surface. And when you tell her, not in a needy way, not to impress, but simply to share, you're showing her that she has become a part of your inner world, quietly, unexpectedly, sincerely. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When your thoughts, both conscious and unconscious, are filled with presence, clarity, and care, that energy naturally attracts." Sharing a dream isn't about control. It's about letting her see that you've invited her into that inner world and that she didn't even have to ask. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. The mistake most men make. They use dreams as a way to stir reaction. They overshare, exaggerate, or turn something beautiful into something theatrical, and it breaks the connection instead of deepening it. The Stoic man does the opposite. He shares with calm. He speaks lightly, without expectation. Maybe he says, "You showed up in my dream last night. It was peaceful. Strange how some energies stay with you, even when you're not looking for them. No pressure, no awkward silence afterward, just presence." She may smile. She may blush. She may ask what happened in the dream. But what she feels first is meaning, that she matters, that she's not just in your schedule, but in your spirit. So how do you apply this? Don't plan it. Let it arise naturally. If the moment feels warm, if you're already connecting, and the dream felt genuine, share it, briefly, with clarity, then move on. Let her sit with it. Let her wonder. Let her feel the intimacy of being seen, even while you were asleep. In a world full of shallow gestures, this one act shows depth, because it proves you're not chasing her body, you're welcoming her presence, even in dreams. Now, comment below. Even in my silence, I remember her presence. Number 7. The unspoken power of a well-groomed beard. It's not just facial hair, it's a statement. A well-kept beard says something long before you open your mouth. It tells the world that you care about detail, discipline, and how you carry yourself. To many women, it also whispers something primal: strength, maturity, and the quiet ability to protect. But let's get one thing clear. It's not the beard alone that attracts, it's what the beard represents. A man who takes the time to groom himself isn't doing it for vanity. He's doing it because he respects himself. And when that self-respect is visible, women notice, not just with their eyes, but with their energy. A clean, intentional appearance tells her, this man has standards. He leads himself before he leads others. Marcus Aurelius said, "What you do now echoes in eternity." That applies to everything, even how you show up in the mirror, because the man who tends to the little things with care is often the same man who handles relationships, challenges, and emotional tension with the same calm precision. The mistake many men make: they either obsess over appearance or neglect it entirely. The Stoic way is the middle path: discipline without vanity, pride without arrogance, You don't need to sculpt your beard every morning like you're auditioning for a cologne ad. You just need to show that you respect your reflection, because the way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. So how do you apply this? First, if a beard suits your face, grow it. But don't let it grow wild. Shape it, clean it, own it. Let it frame your face the way your values frame your actions. Choose products not to impress, but to maintain. Treat grooming as ritual, not performance. And if you prefer being clean-shaven, apply the same principle: care, intention, and consistency. Second, carry that grooming energy into your life. Don't just trim your beard, trim your thoughts. Don't just wash your face, clean up your habits. A Stoic man doesn't just look composed, he is composed. And the outer discipline becomes a mirror of the inner. When you walk into a room with a well-groomed beard and a steady gaze, you don't have to say much. Your presence already said it for you. Now, speak out and comment below. I sharpen my image the way I sharpen my mind. Number 8. The deep impact of listening and asking the right questions. In a world where everyone wants to speak, the one who truly listens becomes unforgettable. Most men hear to respond. Few listen to understand. But when you do, when you listen with full presence, with zero agenda, and ask questions that touch her soul rather than skim her surface, something shifts. You stop being just another man. You become a mirror to her depth. Women remember the man who made them feel heard, not just nodded at, not just tolerated, truly seen. Because for her, attraction isn't built on flashy words, it's built on emotional safety. And there's no greater way to build that safety than through undivided attention. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That's not just ancient wisdom, it's timeless strategy. Because when a woman senses that you care about her dreams, her fears, her joy, her pain without trying to fix or judge, she feels something rare: trust. Here's what most men get wrong. They ask questions to impress. They listen only until it's their turn to speak. But Stoic listening is different. You're not gathering information to win her. You're creating space where she can be vulnerable and feel safe in that vulnerability. So how do you apply this? Start by being fully present. When she speaks, stop multitasking. Look her in the eyes. Nod not for show, but because you're actually there. And when you ask questions, don't aim for clever, aim for clarity. Don't say, "So what do you do?" Say, "What part of your day actually lights you up?" Don't ask, "What's your favorite movie?" Ask, "What film made you feel something you couldn't explain?" These questions aren't tricks, they're doors. And when she walks through them, she opens up a part of herself that's usually hidden. That's where connection lives. Not in performance, but in permission. And when she shares, don't rush to relate, just hold it. Breathe with her. Sit in her emotion like it's your own. Because that's the gift of real listening. It's not just hearing her words, it's feeling her truth. This kind of connection doesn't just spark attraction, it builds foundation. It tells her, "With me, you can be more than impressive. You can be real." Now, comment below. I listen to understand, not to respond. You came here looking for what to do, but now you know it's about how you are. A man who doesn't flinch when she pulls away, doesn't interrupt silence with neediness, doesn't seek validation in her response, becomes the man she remembers long after others fade. Why? Because he's rare, because he's rooted, because he gives her something most men don't: the feeling of emotional gravity. You don't lead with. Here's the difference. Most men ignore signs, then act surprised. The Stoic man sees them, doesn't rush. Most men fumble in silence or explode. The Stoic man speaks with calm timing, reads with emotional intelligence, and stays unmoved. Why? Because his self-worth isn't. So what now? Start paying attention. Let your awareness sharpen. See how she